What's going on, guys? So ASUS was at CES and has some cool laptops and mini PCs that I want to talk about that you guys might find interesting. They also invited me to a pre-press release in New York a few months ago about what is going to be unveiled this year, which you guys probably already know by now by their CES announcements about laptops that weren't really on my radar. You know who else I don't have on my radar? Our sponsor, nobody. So the first thing that I actually want to talk about is not the laptops, it's the mini PCs. Super quick because I've been home labbing the past 3 years and I do think mini PCs are a great way to get started. Probably not here because this is more of like the higher echelon. I assume these are going to be pretty pricey, but I want to start out with ASUS and the NUC 16. This has Intel's highest offering from Panther Lake, the X9 with Intel Arc graphics. The B390, I believe specifically, has dual 2.5 gig LAN, 2 HDMI ports, 3 USB-C ports, and 4 USB-A ports, 2 on the front, 2 on the back. I'm super excited about this machine. The other offering is the Expert Center PN55. It comes with AMD's AI chip. I'm not super crazy about this one personally, just a bit too much AI for me. On the front, there's actually a dedicated Copilot button. So if I were to like wipe this clean, put my own software on there, if it's like a Linux server or something, that button would be pretty useless, but I do enjoy the toolless design to open it. More or less similar to the NUC, just an AMD offering that is more focused on AI. And then lastly, they have the Ascent GX10 mini PC, which is a more AI LLM machine to rival NVIDIA's offering. But since both of those are out of my price range, we'll just leave that out of my range. Just to let you guys know, these are my own personal ASUS laptops that I've bought over the years. This is a tough gaming laptop. This is the, as you can tell, older Zephyrus model. Just have it here for props essentially. One of my favorite laptops that I don't think gets enough attention on the internet is actually the Tough series, mainly because it's affordable and sleek enough to pass as a non-gaming laptop. Unfortunately, no Panther Lake, which is a bummer, but they do have AMD's AI chip come with either the RTX 5060 or AMD's 8060 for the graphics. The display is slightly higher than 1440p. The specs I do know say that the nit count is 400, but I've had this laptop for a couple years and I've had no real issues, but it would be nice to have the nit count be higher next year around. Does have 2 M.2 slots where you can upgrade the storage to up to 4 gigabytes of RAM. There are 2 models. I want you guys to keep that in mind. The lower tier model maxes out at 32 gigabytes of memory, which is going to be the RTX 5060, while the higher tier model, the Radeon A6 version, goes up to 64 gigabytes of memory, so it's more for your local LLMs. No Wi-Fi 7, which is fine. Comes with Wi-Fi 6E. 2 USB-C ports, 2 USB-A ports, HDMI 2.1, so no real complaints about the ports here. With DLSS, I think the NVIDIA model is going to sell more, but only time will tell. Now I want to talk about the ROG Zephyrus G14 and the G16. So they're going to be offered with Intel's Panther Lake this time around, which I'm super excited about. The G14 specifically will also be available with AMD's latest AI processor paired with the RTX 5080, while the G16 has the configuration to be paired with the RTX 5090 and is only offered in the Intel Panther Lake configuration. So the Intel AMD split is really only around the G14 model, and there are some slight differences between the two. So the G14 Intel model, you have the ability to upgrade the memory or configure it with 64 gigabytes of low power DDR5 memory, and you only have 1 M.2 slot. The AMD AI processor G14 variant, however, can only be paired with 32 gigabytes of memory, 1 M.2 slot, and no Thunderbolt port. So in terms of wanting the best gaming performance, I assume the Panther Lake version is going to be better, especially if you want more of the memory, but 32 gigabytes of memory, I think a lot of people are going to be okay with. I don't think you really need that, but if you do want to have this computer longer term and you feel more comfortable adding in more memory, the G14 Intel model is going to be the one you want to pick up. The G16, on the other hand, only comes with Panther Lake, like I said before, but on the storage side, you can have up to 4 NVMe SSDs, 2 of which are Gen 4, the other 2 being Gen 5. So the G16 is truly a no compromise gaming laptop. You can have pretty much whatever you want, and you're getting, from what I believe, one of the best CPUs on the market in the mobile space. That's not Apple, of course. So specs aside, the light bar in the back has 35 zones instead of 7 for better customization and animation. Not this older design. This is a much older Zephyrus from like 3-4 years ago. There's a strip on the back. 35 zones, like I said before, so better customization. It'll come with 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports and a USB-A port, HDMI 2.1, and either an SD card slot, a full-size one, or a micro SD card slot. They also did some redesign, so the bottom panel is supposed to help with better ventilation, so we'll have to test that under gaming conditions here on the channel. The displays are OLED HDR panel that goes up to 1100 nits, up to 120 hertz. Since it's OLED, it's going to have pretty much instant response time, but it does have NVIDIA G-Sync, so you can pretty much still get shot around the corner and see us go at 1 ping, no problem. But yeah, pretty excited about the Zephyrus lineup this time around. Maybe I'll pick it up. But what I really want to talk about is the ZenBook Duo, which has finally been redesigned with its new internals, making it a more compelling product this time around. So if you aren't aware, this laptop allows you to pretty much take off the bottom panel and you have 2 full displays. So it's really useful for a person who just really likes having multi-monitor setups, but you don't want to take an external monitor with you on the go, or you don't want to carry around, you know, one of those things that you plug into the side of your computer and then you have an external display. It's physically built into the computer. However, you do have the ability to use it as a regular laptop. ASUS redesigned the hinge and the kickstand because my biggest complaint with the original one was that the original kickstand was too bulky and heavy, and then the break in the middle where the display was for both screens was just way too prominent, but both issues have been improved. Both screens are still OLED. They go up to 144 hertz that peak in HDR at 1000 nits. They're also still touchscreen, comes with 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, a regular USB-A port, HDMI 2.1, and Wi-Fi 7. Comes with a higher tier Panther Lake, so it's the X9. And also the regular 9 and 7 low power DDR5 memory. No RTX graphics, just comes with the Intel Arc, so it's kind of aimed at productivity, but it's still a very capable machine in terms of gaming. Somehow they managed to fit 99 watts in the battery, so it can still be airline safe. The one thing I wish ASUS did was, it's the same thing I talked to them when they first launched the ZenBook Duo, was just make that Bluetooth keyboard its own product. It's amazing, but hopefully I can get my hands on the new ZenBook Duo. Lastly, we have the A16 series, which comes with a Snapdragon X2 Elite Extreme, mouthful to say. And then the A14 version just has the X2 Elite. This is more of your everyday offerings from ASUS. Very minimal OLED panel, 600 nits, glossy finish, so the color should pop. 2 USB-C ports, 1 USB-A port with HDMI 2.1. Personally, I haven't seen that many A series out in the wild. I think it's probably just because it's ARM. I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, hopefully I can get these laptops on the channel and feature it on the website with you guys. But appreciate every single sub, like, and comment. And as always, guys, much love.